The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season begins coming up June 1st. Forecasters, they're already calling for 13 to 19 named storms. Winds expected to reach anywhere between 39 miles per hour or even higher.
Yeah, for reference, 18 named storms formed last year, including Hurricanes Helene and Milton. 2024 was the deadliest hurricane season since 2005, and North Carolinians know that firsthand, that those damages did not come just at the coast.
Plus, another wave of relief is closer to reaching those affected by Hurricane Helene. State House lawmakers, they're approving more than $450 million in additional aid.
Now, a normal season has 14 named storms, 7 of which strengthen to hurricanes and 3 power up to further to major hurricanes.
Now, last year started with a record early Cat 5 hurricane in Hurricane Beryl, and then had a lull during the early part of peak storm season, but then 6 storms later, we're talking Hurricane Helene and Milton formed in just 2 weeks.
Yeah, joining us now is a lead hurricane season forecaster, Matt Rosencrans, to talk about how to be best prepared this hurricane season. Matt, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing pretty well here. Obviously, Jason and I were talking about this. When we talk about hurricanes, we talk about Helene, there's PTSD, right? We're still dealing with the cleanup from that there. And then when we have this report and we're saying, okay, it's going to be another bad one, what's the elements there? What are people thinking? And what should people know getting into the season? Is there anything you can say to make them feel just a little bit better?
I mean, we're looking at the warm sea surface temperatures again in the Atlantic that could fuel these storms. But by preparing now, going to state emergency management websites and understanding what they can do now will just can keep them safe later. That's really the key, is the preparation now.
You know, Matt, what's interesting is, I know we've talked even this morning with Amanda Cox, our meteorologist, here with us on the show, is that certain areas of the country, like you picture, especially here in North Carolina, we think about the coastal flooding that comes sometimes from a hurricane. You've got these hundreds of communities up in the mountains. Who in the world would have thought that a storm would have traveled that far, that they need to prep and plan on flooding up in the mountains? Almost no one had flood insurance up there. I'm not saying that could happen again, but there's a lot of times when you're that far inland, you think, I'm safe from a hurricane. That's going to hit the folks that live on the beach.
Yeah, and we have been seeing this more and more over the last decade. We've even seen flooding up into Vermont and even southern parts of Canada, very far away from the tropics. So just want people to understand that they can kind of reach out and touch you almost anywhere kind of east of the Mississippi, really.
Matt, break this down. I know normally you get a chance to talk to meteorologists and meteorologist Ted Phaeton, and you have had great conversations. But for us lay people here, what are the elements that you're looking for? Because it seems, just to us, it seems to get worse and worse. You know, 2024, we had a bad season. Now we're talking about another bad season. Is there something changing around here where, okay, the waters are just warmer? What's going on?
Yeah, so since 1995, we've seen the Atlantic Ocean in a phase where the waters are just warmer. And that makes favorable wind patterns over there. And we're just seeing a continuation of that pattern. And then this year, the Pacific isn't going to get in the way. 2022, we had less storms. The Pacific kind of changed the circulation on the planet, and that kind of mitigated it. But 2020, 21, 23, you're right. It was really active, and that's all due to those warmer waters in the Atlantic.
We've got, Matt, we've got a list of the named storms that we're going to be hearing about, you know, once we get hurricane season. When you look at the list, and you guys, I know you look at facts and figures. You got incredible technology that's always advancing to be able to forecast and predict. What percentage of these storms for this year are you thinking are going to be normal? What percentage do we think is going to be above normal? Is there a window? I know I'm giving you a bunch of questions at once, but when you look at this season, where do you think the peaks and the valleys are going to be?
So the peak of the hurricane season is September 10th. And I see no reason that we shouldn't see that peak right around that normal time of year. I don't see anything that we should have an early season. There may be a little extending into the November time period if we do develop a little bit of a signature in the Pacific, low sea surface temperatures.
Matt, I do want to ask you, and again, going back to what you said there and explaining it to lay people, right? You said that the Pacific got in the way of the Atlantic and the warm waters there. But again, for us lay people, when you say the Pacific gets in the way, I'm thinking, okay, you got the body of water over here on the side of the country, Atlantic on the other side here. When you say Pacific gets in the way, what does that mean?
Yeah, so when you change sea surface temperatures in the Pacific Ocean, seems half a mile, half a world away, literally. It'll change wind patterns above that, and those wind patterns over the Pacific, that's a third of the planet. That will change wind patterns on the entire planet, and it can increase wind shear, which tears apart storms in the Atlantic. It can also create parts of the Atlantic where the air is kind of generally sinking, and that is going to kind of cap tropical storm and hurricane development. But we're not seeing anything in the Pacific that could come to kind of put those impeding factors or kind of tamp down on anything in the Atlantic this year.
So the Pacific won't come to our rescue is essentially what I'm getting from
That's
Jason.
that's what it sounds like Matt is
Yeah.
saying. Matt, before we let you go, listen, we do know that there are a lot of people that are probably fearful now because of what Helene did to North Carolina and South Carolina for that matter. And so when they hear these conversations, they're like, oh, I just don't even want to talk about it. It's reality, right? You can't run from it. You have to face it. But you also can't hide the rest of your life. Mother Nature's going to do whatever she wants to do. So what advice, how do we still live our lives, but still be prepared in the hopes of we don't need a go bag or an emergency situation? What advice can you give folks?
The advice is to have that go bag, to do that preparation now, so that way you can be ready when that comes. You're not having that extra stress. To think about where you're going to be. Just talk, just the schools are letting out, right? So now take some of that time that people have to do those preparations now. That's really key. Just like anything in life, the more you prepare for it, when it comes, the kind of easier it's going to be on you. If you have a plan for which roads to go out on, what supplies you need, where you're going to meet family members, doing all that stuff now can really help kind of hasten things when the event does happen, when a hurricane comes in your area.
Again, Matt Rosencrans joining us from NOAA. Matt, we appreciate it. And if anything we've learned from Helene is that, yes, normally you think the coast areas are the only ones that get affected, but everybody should be talking about this. And you said, perfect time now, school's out, go over it with your kids, have a plan in place, have that go bag. Matt, we thank you for your time and your insight this morning.
Good to be here.